This video is sponsored by LAVA Music. Hey everybody, it's Nelson, otherwise known as Moshi Bass, and today I have with me the LAVA Genie. This is an electronic smart guitar designed for anybody to be able to pick up and play regardless of musical experience. Today we're going to take an in-depth look at the features and functionalities of the Genie. And for transparency's sake, this is a sponsored video, so I'm going to save my personal opinions to the end just to avoid any conflict of interest and really just spend today focusing on the facts of what this product is capable of so that you can inform your own decision on whether or not this product is right for you. So all that said, let's jump right in. Here is the LAVA Genie completely broken down into its travel case, which is quite compact. The entire thing weighs about 5 pounds, including the case and the strap inside. When you zip it open, you will find the body of the LAVA Genie and the neck separated. The way that it breaks down is the neck actually detaches and the body folds in half. So it's pretty quick to put together. You just flip it open and plug in the neck, and there it is. It also comes with a strap. It connects pretty much just like any other guitar strap, and you could use any other guitar strap you wanted as well. To turn it on, we press this button right here. And there are a lot of different features that I'm going to get into, but first I just want to show you as quickly as possible basically how you play this thing. So just like a guitar, both hands are involved. Your left hand is going to be on the fingerboard, and this is how we select chords to play. You're going to be pressing on one of the 7 blocks to select a chord. By default, the 7 blocks pertain to each of the 7 chords in the major key, but you do have the option in the app to split it into 21 blocks so that you have more options for chords. Every single block is customizable, and you can change it to a different chord, so whatever chords you need for the song you're going to play, you're able to set it up to fit that. For the right hand, there are 2 different ways to trigger the chord. First, there is the tap pad, which has 5 different buttons. By default, only 2 are activated. You can activate the other 3 using the app. You can set them all to trigger different patterns and rhythms. So for example, first I'm going to press on the first block, and then I'm going to tap one of the tap pads with my thumb. Here's another one. Block 2. Block 3. And so on. The other way that you can trigger a chord is by using the arpeggio section. So there's 6 dots here. Each of them basically pertains to one of the notes in the chord. It's kind of like being able to play the different strings of the chord separately. By the way, up until now, I've been just playing using the onboard speakers. There are 2 of them, one for treble and one for bass. And there is a port under the lower horn just to help them get extra loud, extra bassy. I just realized I actually had the volume pretty low this whole time, so I'm going to go ahead and put that at the max. When the speaker's at max volume, it is quite loud, definitely loud enough to sing along to, which is really important because a main focus of this instrument is to be a tool for singers to be able to accompany themselves with. You also probably noticed that all of the features are pretty much based around playing chords. So this is not so much of a melody instrument. It's really meant for chord accompaniments, and I haven't even gotten into the auto backing track yet. The drum and bass backing track is a major feature of the LAVA Genie, but before I get into that, I'm going to go ahead and plug this in. So in addition to the onboard speakers, you can also plug in your standard 1/4-inch instrument cable, and you can have the audio output via that as well. So now that it's plugged in, all of the audio is going to come through the 1/4-inch cable instead of through the speakers. The speakers are muted. So like I was saying about the automatic backing track, when you press this button right here, it'll turn on a drum and bass backing track. When that's turned on, the bass line will automatically follow whatever chord your left hand is pressing. So if I'm pressing the 1 chord, it's going to generate a bass line that's based on the first chord. When I move to a different chord, like the 5 chord, it'll switch to that. So this adds a lot of dimension to your chords, really fills things out. I'll do a quick demonstration. Then you press this button right here to end it. So pressing the circle button starts the drum and bass. Pressing the square button stops the drum and bass. There's also this button right here with 3 circles. And what this means is it's going to play a drum and bass accompaniment that's more complex. So the 1 circle is a simple accompaniment. The 3 circles is a complex accompaniment. So I'll demonstrate that in a second. But first, I also want to show you that there's a lot of different sounds on the LAVA Genie besides just the acoustic guitar. So I'm just going to press the power button once. I'm going to tap it to switch to a different preset. So you can hear that now it's actually a piano sound. So there's not only guitar sounds, acoustic and electric, there's also piano and synth sounds. You can change all of them in the app. I'll get to more of that later. But first I want to demonstrate the more complex drum and bass. This time I'm going to set the tempo using the tempo tap pad. And then let's press the 3 circles. And I can still tap it while it's playing to change the tempo as well. So that pretty much covers the basic features besides what's possible with the app. The only things I haven't touched on yet are the USB-C charging port, the mic input, you can plug in your own microphone. And I guess the most significant thing I haven't talked about is on the back of the neck, all the way up at the top where the headstock would be, there are a couple buttons that let you change the key. So by pressing the up and down buttons here, it's pretty much like moving a capo up and down the guitar and changing the key that all of your chords are in. There's also one more button that I almost forgot to mention right here on the LAVA logo. This is actually a button as well. It's a mute button. So if you are playing a chord, it'll just cut off whatever you're doing. So this is really useful if you have a chord pattern playing and you just want to stop everything. You can just hit that mute button right there. It also works for the drum loops. So now that we've covered all of that, let's go ahead and connect it to the LAVA Plus app and look at all the features that are offered there. All right, so let's open up the LAVA Plus app. First thing I'm gonna have to do is connect to the LAVA Genie. Go to devices. It's gonna connect via Bluetooth. Great, we are connected. So once I have the Genie connected to the app, you've got your presets up here. These are the different sounds that you can cycle through by tapping on the power button. You can change the BPM of the drum and bass backing track, and you can change the key of the entire fretboard. So I'm in the key of C here. Can I do this with 2 hands? And I don't know, I could change it to A flat. Here's what I was talking about earlier. See where it says fingerboard, 7 blocks or 21 blocks. So let's take a look at what we have for the 7 blocks. I'm going to hit customize. Right now, it'll show you all the different chords that I have set for the 7 blocks. I could go into them and I could change them. So I could change the A flat chord to like an A flat major 7 to an A flat minor. And I could even transpose it up or down a half step. So if you need something specific that doesn't fit in the major key, then you can really dial in exactly the chords that you need. And if you need even more flexibility, you can go up here and change it from 7 blocks to 21 blocks. So now every single fret or block is split into 3. You can see that there are dividers in between each of the blocks. So for example, in the middle of block 1, I have the A major chord, but if I go to the side here, now it's a minor chord, or I also have the dominant 7th chord up here. So this really adds a lot more flexibility and expression to what chords you can play and what chord progressions you can add in your song. So for example, I could play like E major, switch to E7, then go to the 1 chord, A, and then maybe turn that into a minor. Let's see what that sounds like. The next thing we come to as we're scrolling down is the tap pad settings. There's auto mode and creative mode. So I already have it set to creative mode. The main difference between auto mode and creative mode is that in auto mode, you only have the top 2 pads available. And in creative mode, you have all 5. And if we go into creative mode here, you can see that there are a lot of different patterns that we can drag over to the different buttons. By the way, every single preset has its own set of patterns that you can choose from. So there's a lot of different options. You can mix and match them to get pretty creative and do a lot of different patterns and rhythms. Looks like I already have everything set for this one. So let's just go ahead and go through all of these. So for example, I could use these to go like this. So I can select a preset, go down to creative mode on the tap pad. I'll put that there. Put down strum up there. Put up strum there. Oh, I just realized it was already there. You could have the same thing on multiple buttons if you wanted. So let's check those out. Here's the down strum. Here's the here's that chuck sound. So the rest of the settings down here are pretty self-explanatory. They're just your basic configuration settings. We're going to scroll all the way back up to the top and take a quick peek at the different presets. Go to the preset library and we could search for anything. Let's say metal. We'll try metalhead. So you can hear a demo of what it sounds like, and then you can send it to the LAVA Genie and play it yourself. All the presets have their own drum and bass pattern. Many of the presets are just different generic sounds, but some of them are very catered towards certain songs, which brings us to the next part of the app. Along with controlling all of the LAVA Genie's settings, the app also contains chord charts for thousands of licensed songs that you can play along with. So what we're going to do is go to chord chart, scroll down, and we'll find a song that we like. We'll do Hallelujah. Here we go. So clearly this seems to be especially good for if you are a singer and you want to accompany yourself. You can follow along with the chords in the app and sing along because it has the chords lined up with the lyrics. Also in the app, you can make your own chord charts. They have an AI feature where it will basically create a chord chart for any song for you. There's also a way to manually make your own chord chart as well. So with that, I think we've pretty much covered everything. Those are the functions of the LAVA Genie. I think we barely scratched the surface though in terms of preset sounds and available songs to play on the app. There's definitely a lot more sounds that you can make out of this, and I'm sure they're going to continue to add more into the app as well. Now, like I promised, here are my thoughts on the LAVA Genie. I should note that this is not the first video I've done with the LAVA Genie. I've posted a few before, and the comment sections have been divisive, to put it lightly. I think it's important to understand what this product is trying to do. It's not really designed to be something that teaches you how to play guitar. It's also not something that's designed for advanced guitarists to broaden their horizons on. But whether or not that's a bad thing, that's kind of a topic for a different video. Honestly, if you ask me, anything that lowers the barrier to entry for people enjoying music is a good thing. This is not an instrument that you're meant to spend years of your life mastering. This is an instrument that you're supposed to be able to pick up and play in 60 seconds. And I think it achieves that goal. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any questions about the LAVA Genie, please feel free to ask in the comments and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Till next time.